Johnny Signorello and Kevin Perry back yet again. And we have a very special guest we cannot wait to have on for an amazing interview. WBO 160-pound champion of the world, Demetrius Andrade, on the show. 31-0, 19 KOs. But Kevin right now is dealing with some gnats at his house. He's attacked by bugs. So we're going to see if we can make this work. Kevin, hit it.
Unbelievable! You want to throw sometime? Bang! Oh, my God! Okay, Chip. 7 rounds to 2.
So, Kevin, what's going on with the Nats, man? They're kicking your ass. What's happening?
I got a couple new house plants, and I think since these house plants, we've had them in the house for about a month. I've been seeing these like little tiny flies, and I'm just kind of going like, just trying to, like I'm doing. You remember in Karate Kid with the chopsticks?
Yeah,
it kind of reminds me of that a little bit, but it's kind of funny. It's annoying, you know. Sometimes they're just, you know, you're just chilling and you see in your face and stuff like that. But anyways, moving on from that, really excited to have a WBO middleweight champion Demetrius Andrade in the house today on the Kayonation Podcast. Wow, John, we're on episode number 29. Can you believe that we've gone this far with all the, you know, the starts and stops, and you know, we'll do a couple shows in a week, and then we'll be off for like 3 weeks, and you know, it's like a roller coaster of emotions and stuff, trying to get these shows, you know, done, you know, with both of our busy schedules, you know, just trying to make ends meet. It's holiday season, you know. Wow, can you believe that? It's almost Christmas already.
I agree with you, and I'm so happy to have, you know, the honor to and privilege to do a podcast with you, and then also bring in WBO middleweight champion of the world, Demetrius Andrade, who is one of my favorite fighters on planet Earth, and I can't wait to pick his brain about his style. I also love his trainer, Mike Velaz, very much. I think that what they're doing is a very unique hybrid of combinations of styles, in which I cannot wait to talk to Demetrius about. We'll definitely pick his brain on that. But you're right, man. It's crazy how we got to the end of the year so fast. I mean, it is December 15th. Christmas is like right around the corner, literally, you know. But hopefully everyone is well and everything is great.
Have you bought a Christmas tree yet or no?
Oh, yeah, it's up. All the presents are under the tree. We got everything done. And that's the way to do it. Like, I like to get things done early. Speaking about getting things done early, there's been the recap. Let's go to a recap of some recent boxing.
Okay. We've been off a minute. So, I mean, there's been a lot of activity in boxing that's went on our little hiatus since before Thanksgiving, I think, was when we did our last show. Right. There was some big upsets. Teofimo Lopez got knocked off his pedestal as the undisputed lightweight champion by a relative unknown to most people in the United States. George Kambosos Jr. pulled off a huge upset, a 10-1 underdog. And then we've had some other big fights in the lightweight division. Just talk about those a little bit, John. Some of the other lightweight fights. I mean, there's been a lot of action going on.
Well, this one's a little north of lightweight, but the Chris Algieri knockout that he experienced, that was really difficult. Like, he got obliterated. And I love Chris Algieri. Like, he's a very intelligent guy, knows his fight game. And it's just sometimes you got to know when to say when. And I think it's time. It's like if you're drunk at the club and one of your buddies, like, you know, like say, hey, let's go home. I think it's time for Chris Algieri to go home. His opponent was very excellent, a very powerful fighter. There have been a lot of knockouts. There has been a lot of you could call them upsets or whatever in boxing. I mean, anything can happen, but there has been some really great fights of late. And I'm very happy with where the sport's going, Kevin. How do you feel about where the sport's going?
I'll say this much, as far as from like a fall standpoint or December, this is the most fights I think that I can remember happening around Christmas time. I mean, there's been stacked cards, week after week, and on all the different networks. Showtime, DAZN's been having a lot of cards. Even last weekend, I think multiple fights on DAZN within one day, from different locations. Yeah, it's in ESPN had a fight this last weekend with Vasily Lomachenko and Richard Comey, which it was a one-sided fight, but it was a somewhat competitive one-sided fight. If that makes any sense. Friday coming up, we actually have a 175-pound champion who's been out of action for quite a bit of time, but very exciting fighter. Artur Beterbiev, he's going to be defending his titles against trying to remember Marcus Brown, Staten Island fighter, good light heavyweight who's only has one defeat to Jean Pascal, and we know Jean Pascal has had his issues with performance enhancing drugs. So who knows if he actually fought Pascal and at a fair playing field. So yeah, that's another pretty interesting fight that's going to be happening on Friday in Canada. So yeah, it seems like every week, there's just so much action going on that, in a sense, some of these fights you kind of miss them, and you hear about them at the last minute, and you're like, wow, this last weekend, I mean, I pretty much felt like all I was doing on Saturday night was watching boxing, but I definitely enjoyed it.
Lomachenko and Comey came up really fast, man. And when I watched the fight, you're exactly correct, is that, we have an experience where it's a one-sided fight, but it's so engaging, where you see Comey's got a chance to do something, and he's working his ass off, and he's throwing shots and combinations, and he almost might have Lomachenko second guessing himself. But Lomachenko, he really, I gotta give it to him, gotta give him props. He is a constant, he just keeps throwing, consummate professional, keeps throwing. And that's what I love about what the art of boxing is, when people have passion. And we got to look at Lomachenko, he's had so many amateur fights and then not really too many professional fights, but he still looks pretty damn good. He's only lost two affairs, but at the end of the day, he throws a volume. That's the best way to put it. A volume of punches, combinations, angles, trajectory. And I think that's why a lot of people that we respect, Kevin, have him at top pound for pound still, even despite a couple of losses.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, his only that first loss against Salido, that was like his second pro fight. So I mean, to fight a 40-50 fight veteran in your second professional fight after you've been an amateur all those years, and amateurs, being a great amateur means a lot, but at the same time, you're only fighting 3-4 minute rounds. You fought in the amateurs, John. Is most of the fights three rounders, 4 rounders? You fight any 4 rounders, John?
No, I never fought a 4 rounder. I've done a couple 2s. I've done a couple 3s, and the 2s go really quick, and the women that are listening out there can understand exactly what that's about. Is that you could start getting someone in a finished position, which means you're getting someone out of there, and then you run out of time. You could have an extra minute to actually finish your opponent. But there is another flip side to that 2-minute round, is that, okay, at least you have an extra minute off. You're not as exhausted. It depends on the personality, it depends on the temperament. But, as far as with my amateur experience, the longest I've ever went was in spars where I did 12 rounds and 3-minute rounds. And I was 147 pounds and I sparred a heavyweight.
Oh, wow.
And I won. And not to brag or exaggerate, but I put it on him. You know, I knew what to do.
How big was this heavyweight? Was he like a 400-pound heavyweight, or
no? He was like,
or he was just a big heavyweight for you to hit, then, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. I'm gonna say he's approximately 6'1" or 2, 215 pounds. He was not in the shape I was in at the time because at that point in time I was in really good shape.
Well, 6'1", 215 is actually a pretty decent build. You should be in a pretty decent shape if you're 6'1", 215. That doesn't sound like a very fat guy. That seems like a pretty.
He wasn't
athlete.
fat. He was just loose.
Okay.
Right. He didn't have the muscles. He was just loose. I think I was maybe, I don't know, 147 at my height. What I like to exaggerate at 5'9", but it's more like 5'8". But you know, it is what it is. But I can't wait to talk to middleweight world champion Demetrius Andrade coming on very shortly. And Kevin, we've watched him for many years.
Yes. And
he's an electrifying fighter. He's got his own unique style. What's your take on that?
It's really hard to say because he's one of those fighters that you see that you want to see him fight the best, and you try to wrap your head around how come he's just not getting the big fights. And obviously, you know, in boxing there's different factors that are involved, you know, like, for example, being part of, you know, having certain promoters that can always create obstacles. But in Andrade's case, and these are some stuff we probably might ask him about when he comes on. He's got a pretty decent stable of middleweights with on DAZN. I don't know if they're all signed with Matchroom per se. That's who Andrade's promoter is. Mm-hmm. But they've got Jaime Munguia. I mean, he's with Golden Boy, but he does fight on DAZN. He's the WBO #1 contender. Doesn't seem to be in any hurry to step into the ring with Demetrius Andrade. But that's a hell of a fight that we'd all like to see. Triple G and Ryota Murata, they were supposed to fight I think New Year's Eve, but that fight's been postponed because of COVID restrictions, travel restrictions to Japan. So those are two middleweight title holders. I think Murata has the WBA championship, and Triple G is the IBF champion, from my understanding.
Yeah.
And then the WBC champion is Jermall Charlo. Well, one of the Charlo brothers. I don't know if it's Jermell or Jermall. I get them so mixed up. I would never name, if I had twin sons, I wouldn't name them Jimmy and Jammy or something. You know, I mean, that's got to be a pretty confusing household to live in if you're a parent. I mean, you call your son's name and they both come running pretty much. I mean, would you even remember your name under those circumstances? It's like, am I Jamal or am I Jermel? I don't know.
Dude, I totally agree. It's like, you know, there was a movie called Mark for Death, Steven Seagal, back in the day. They had Screwface. I don't know if you remember this one. It was actually about a Jamaican, you know, criminal, crime like syndicate type thing. And the bottom line is that they were both named Screwface. And this is how I see them, is like Jamal, like, you know, and they look exactly the same. They have like tattoos in the same placement, same hair. It's like, ooh, it's almost impossible. Like, and then someone's like, which one won? Which one is the undefeated one? Which one's the one that lost? I'm like, I think Jamel lost and Jamal's the one that's still unbeaten. It is confusing, and that's what people have to do is they have to understand that this is
it's hard to marketing. It's hard enough for a twin to create their own identity,
exactly,
and then you name them a name that's almost like indistinguishable from the other. It's I don't know. That it's just kind of wild and wacky to me. But anyways, Charlo, the middleweight Charlo, that's what we'll call him. The middleweight Charlo is the other guy.
Here we go.
So anyways, just going away from that, Demetrius is in the house, so we're gonna bring him in and just kind of give him a proper introduction. We're really happy to have him on the Kayonation Podcast. Demetrius, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. Just trying to make it happen for you guys. And I'm in the vehicle, but you know what I'm saying, gotta get these kids from school. But I'm here now.
Yeah, I appreciate you. Man. Big time. And I appreciate what you did to Jason Quigley the last time out. Let's get right to it, brother. Like, you dismantled this man. You went after him like a house on fire. To me, congratulations on your most recent victory, second round stoppage.
Yeah, thank you, man. Just attitude, man. Just changing the dynamic of things. Just not playing no more games. I don't want to hear I can't do something just because somebody, the fans or some of these critics out here don't really know, because at the end of the day, it's a gentleman's sport. Of course, I'm fighting real guys. Of course, not anybody's coming to lay down. But I had to make a statement for myself and the fans, especially since this whole Canelo episode went down and people calling me horrible fighters and all this other stuff. It was like, well, now we know what a horrible fighter looks like and what he's capable of doing in 2 rounds with somebody that Canelo was a candidate to fight Canelo at one point in 2020 or 19, I believe so. So I just showed, another side, and I'm gonna keep showing that same side for whoever they put in front of me or whatever comes, whoever comes next. But at the end of the day, I'm always going to beat these guys. That's just what it is. I feel I'm one of the greatest talents in the sport of boxing. Yeah, I haven't showed everything. But I done and showed a lot of skill, talent and my capability of doing things. But it hasn't been with a top guy. And why? Why if I'm not a good fighter? Why am I boring? And why am I all this other stuff? These guys doesn't take the easy route, get paid, and say that was an easy, safe fight. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what it boils down to at times. That's what it boils down. Not saying that everybody got to fight iron every single time, because we're not built as a machine, but we're machines, but we're not built robotically. But at the same point, it's just like, it's like, okay, when are one of you guys going to step up and make this happen? And then on my end, I got to think outside the box and go up and do things like go up to 10 weight classes just to maybe get somebody, but it ain't going to be somebody that Canelo's fighting, like the easy cherry pick'em fight. It's going to be somebody that's tough, of course, because that's just how it works with what I have going on. I don't have that luxury. And it's just time for people to see it clearer and clearer and clearer. Why are these people avoiding the fights?
So what do you specifically think you need to do to get these guys in the ring? I mean, obviously you can only fight the people they put in front of you. I was kind of talking to John about this earlier. It's kind of a catch-22, because if you dominate these guys but you don't knock them out, then they say, oh well, he's a boring fighter. But then when you knock him out, then he's still going to get avoided. So it's just an interesting situation to be in. Obviously, you're a great fighter. How do you feel about that? How do you rectify that in your career?
I already told him, spend more money. At the end of the day, what's the one thing they want? More money. Spend more money. Like, Spend the money to put these guys up. You guys spent the money in all the wrong places. Too much money in all the wrong places. So you're trying to make sure that is being done, and then you guys want to go like kind of cheap versus like somebody like me. As far as when I say that, don't mean I'm getting cheap. The opponents, you know what I'm saying? Like, no, spend the money to put up the $10 million to fight Triple G. Put up the money to fight Charlo. Put up the money to fight, David Benavides. Put up the money to put up, with these top guys, because that's the only way it's going to happen.
100%.
I don't blame me for wanting it or blame them for wanting it. At the end of the day, it's a risky fight. It's it's going to be a hell of a fight. And, at the end of the day, nobody knows what's going to happen. So as long as you get in there and you get paid versus a dangerous guy, you're going to be like, let's do it.
100%. You checked off all the names on my list that I wanted to ask you about potential opponents, and you checked them all off, man. It shows that you want to fight. And I know your trainer, Mike Velaz, very well, and you guys put in that work. Like, I'm wearing a shirt right now, Cobra Kai, no mercy. There's a reason why I'm wearing this shirt. The last time you were out, Demetrius, you showed no mercy, bro. That was a hell of a performance.
Yeah, that's it. I'm definitely taking, taking the steps, and I'm also getting experience too. Yeah, I've been fighting for a very long time. I don't have 50 fights. I have 31 fights, and every fight is a learning lesson. Every fight is an experience. Every time you get in a ring, no matter who it is that you're in with, you learn something every single time. And so, therefore, for my last fight, I learned, okay, this is what I need to do to make a difference in things right here. This right here. Let's go do that. And, the results came out the way I wanted to, and then the same forth. Styles making fights, of course, but now I know what it is that I'm going to make a difference in as far as my performance. But the biggest difference is, like I said in the first place, was the money. The guys want to get in for cheap money, which I understand. Nobody does. Our life is on the line. Somebody with Quigley, jaw broke. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel bad for the man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hope he made enough money to take that, like, this is not an easy sport. This is not an easy sport. You know what I'm saying? That does whatever they can to try to have the edge on somebody, and it's just like, yo, this is not an easy sport. Everybody should be getting, paid. There's no 401k, there's no life insurance, you gotta get your own shit, but like at the end of the day, this sport should be getting paid to put the people in the fights together that needs to make happen. That's it.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah.
I actually called my wife during your fight. She was working, and I texted her, and I'm like, Demetrius is slaughtering this guy. Like, I liked what I saw. I mean, your style, the way, your reflexes and counters, and what you do with Mike Velaz, who is awesome as a trainer, like, it's obviously showing up. And the name Boo Boo, I think I have to say, maybe it's because you give people boo boos. Is that where the nickname comes from?
I mean, it's definitely, I definitely turned it into that, but it didn't come from that. It came from like me getting boo-boos like when I was a young kid, climbing and doing stuff like kids do, climbing trees, roofs, jumping from here to there, doing the fun stuff, of course, back flips and front flips and twisted. I used to run in the house and do all that stuff, and then I definitely turned it into giving boo-boos out. You know what I'm saying? If that's what you want to run with, but like, I mean, and also it works out too, because when I used to fight as an amateur, I used to go to overseas. Listen, for people that don't know, whoever's tuning in, I've been to Moscow twice. I've been to Venezuela. I've been to Hungary. I've been to Budapest. I've been to Brazil. I've been to China twice. 2 different parts One was Beijing for Olympics. Another one is hard for me to pronounce, but I'm not even going to try to. But it was like in out there somewhere. Um, I've been to all over Europe. You know, I've been all over the world and fought as an
Yeah, that's
amateur.
that's interesting because
I've been all over.
we
Right?
wanted to ask you a little
We
bit
wanted to ask you a little bit
about your experience in the Olympics. Can you give people some background on your whole
so
Olympic
while
experience?
I was doing all this fighting all over the place, and you know they all knew me as Boo Boo, and it was like when every time I was getting ready to fight, and the fans would be like boo, 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 boo. You guys hear that? Wake up. Hello.
Yes.
We got you, bro. We're here,
Yeah, we
man.
got you.
Oh, yeah. So the fans used to be like boo. And I used to be like, when I used to go to Russia, they'd be booing me, boo. And I used to be like, oh shit, they know me. They know me. Oh shit. I used to go to Venezuela, they'd be like, boo, boo. I'm like, shit, they know me. Shit, I'm famous out here. They gonna really know now. They really gonna know once I put my hands
You're
on
gonna learn
them,
today.
yeah. You know,
We're gonna learn today.
today for sure. But no,
Exactly,
I mean,
man.
the Olympics was a great experience. You know what I mean? I was there with like some really really top athletes from soccer to NBA to fencing to volleyball, from weightlifting. Like you know, a lot of the people we shared housing with, like in Colorado Springs. That's where one of the Olympic training center is, and we was there with a lot of them. And then also when we got to Beijing, China, you know, there was Kobe Bryant, rest in peace, Dwight Howard, you know what I'm saying? Everybody, Ginobili, everybody. That's just the basketball realm, and then the soccer realm was Regan. I forgot the guy with he got like, you know, locks like myself. I think he played for Brazil. Didn't something, but yeah, man, just a great experience to like run into people that's like on the same level as you in their own sports, that's like driven and willing to do whatever it takes to be number one. So it was a great experience.
That's why I love you, man. Like watching your style, like in the ring, the way you adapt, you always figure things out. Like it's almost impossible for an opponent to prepare for a guy like you. And I think that's why a lot of people want to duck you because it's almost impossible. Like, how do I prepare for this guy? You know, you change your looks, you change your angles.
Yeah, how would you explain like how did you develop the style that you have? Was it organic or was it something that you modeled after somebody, or could you go into that a little bit, Demetrius?
Now, yeah, I mean, listen, my dad, Paul Andrade, who is one of the best trainers in boxing in this whole wide world. You know, I know you guys know Mike Veloz. Mike Veloz, definitely somebody that grew up in the gym with me. But my dad is the one who taught me how to, you know, get to these angles. He's the one. He's the primary teacher of it. And then as far as that part, my own spices, my own sauce, because I played football. I played basketball. I played baseball. I did tennis. I did karate. I did every single sport that was, and I trained in it, and I picked up, and I learned from it, like you know. And I just took all them things, and I like applied it in far as like you know, when something like will work as far as like yo, this will work. This for football. Oh shit, this will, like, and just put it all in there on top of the lessons that I was taught through my dad.
It's a hybrid of
style.
That's exactly what
Yeah,
it
I mean, pretty much. You know, it just like took everything I learned from each and every sport, and then also, you know, just learning as I go and watching certain people do the same thing round by round. Some people know how to make adjustments, some people doesn't. But one thing about me is like it's going a little different. Every single fight and every single round is going a little different. So I mean, yeah.
Let me say this, Demetrius, is that My father, rest in peace. And it's funny you mentioned your father. Like my father was a huge fan of yours. And he told me one night, because I've come from a boxing family. And he told me one night, he's like, you got to check this guy out, Demetrius Andrade. And I'm like, all right. So I watched you and your style, the way you move, the it's different. The angles, the speed, and the power and precision. Like you're very concentrated when you fight, especially for the counters. The counters are amazing, and people have to understand that are out there that are not fighters to understand what that's like. But I got a couple questions. And by the way, 3 knockouts in the last 5 fights. Congratulations on that. That's another thing people
Yes,
should
most
take
definitely.
note. Yeah, people should take note to that. Let's face facts. But you mentioned karate. Have you been watching?
And everybody went down. And everybody went down.
Actually,
goes down. You know what I'm saying?
we're having some
Everybody goes down.
We're having
The
some
audio is
technical
breaking up,
issues.
yeah.
Can we bring you out and then bring you back in a minute or so? See if we get in. We just have
Yeah,
a
the
tech-
audio breaking up.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you, man.
So yeah, we're gonna bring Demetrius back in. Hopefully, we at least get his audio good.
Yeah. He
Try-
probably went to like a
try to
weird
add him
sound.
back.
There he comes. There he is.
How do I change it from Bluetooth to just my speaker?
Yeah,
Let me
that audio is breaking up, man.
see if I can change it.
Yeah, you got it. Dial it back in. We'll edit it out. It's not a problem.
All right,
Yeah, that's
Better?
that's way
There
better.
it is. There he is.
Excellent. As long as we can hear you, that's people just want to hear you, bro.
yeah.
Thanks.
So,
Let's talk
Yeah, so-
Cobra Kai karate.
Coco Kai, you know what I'm saying? Everybody keeps telling me to tune into it.
Oh, it's good, you love it, man.
So are you,
Am I in?
Demetrius? Are you a fan of any other
Mic
are
check,
you a fan
mic
of
check.
like? Yep, we can hear you.
We got you.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah.
Are you
Yeah,
are you
What was the questions you wanted to ask me?
yeah are you a fan of any other types of fighting like karate or any martial arts? Do you have any backgrounds in anything other than boxing?
Yeah, I just mentioned I played football, I did boxing, I did karate, I did fencing, I did tennis, I did baseball, I did all them sports. The first sport I did was karate, and then went to boxing and football, basketball, baseball, tennis, and some fencing.
Oh, you did fencing?
Wow.
Yeah.
So that means you could like do like Star Wars movies and stuff, like with lightsabers.
I'm definitely trying to get a acting credit doing some of that stuff, you know?
Okay, so I read your mind with that one.
But
That's awesome, man.
it's definitely. I also way back in the days we was always thinking like, yo, how I have the talent to pretty much do a lot of things, but what's the realistic sport that I could get back to Olympics in, or like get to like Olympic trials or whatever? And the only sport that's really out there that can happen, I think, is fencing.
That's badass, man. Have you ever seen the
So-
I'm a big movie fan, especially of martial arts films. Like I was talking about Cobra Kai and stuff. Have you ever seen The Best of the Best Part 2?
Nah.
Like the martial arts? Oh man, you got to see the way it's a different form of fencing. It's like underground fighting, but they use like steel bars and it's crazy. And the fight choreography is so incredible, dude. I did some fight choreography like in some like B movies that I was in recently and shit like that. And bro, like to get that kind of shit down, it's you got to have that muscle memory. You know, it's wild. But I'm sure you have that down, bro. What about music? What are you listening to nowadays?
Um, music. I listen to a lot of music right now. I listen to my friend. His name is June Freedom, Cape Verdean American artist. The young gentleman that walked me out for my fight last time. So I tuned into like that type of music. Of course, like old school music, like forever. A little bit of everything. I'm not afraid to what I'm saying, like get into new things. So I listen to a little bit of everything. I listen to all depends on what we're doing, Also, like when I'm in the house, I want to listen to some smooth shit stuff. When we up in the car, we about to go, or in the gym, we about to pump it up, you know what I mean? Or we just listening to whatever. But that's what I listen to. Listen to a little bit of everything. For people out there, go check out June Freedom. His album is called Anchor. Really nice to listen to. Courses in Creole, that's the language with American as well, but it's more Creole, but you're going to enjoy it because he's like today's world. He was signed with Akon for a while. So like tune into that. June Freedom, and his album is called Anchor.
That's awesome. And I want everyone to check that out.
What genre is that? If for people who are not familiar with this artist,
R&B.
R&B.
I believe R&B. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. And it's funny, like you said, it's about the mood. Like sometimes I'm at home, I put on like smooth shit. But if I'm working out, if I'm at the gym, I put on like Rocky IV soundtrack. I get all crazy,
Yeah.
Put on.
I'm a big fan of Marvin Gaye. You into Marvin Gaye?
Yeah, of course. I listen to all that stuff. Old school, Marvin, Al, James Brown, who I love. Like
Yes.
when I'm in the gym, I listen to a little Temptations. Papa was Rolling Stone. I play that in the gym a lot. I play Michael Jackson. So Dirty Diana. I'm saying that's always a good one. Yeah, man, a lot of
I'm a drummer. Dirty Diana is not easy to play. It's not. It's a hard song to play, man. Like I'm a drummer. I've been playing drums a long time and stuff like that. So yeah, I know you're a big fan. Yeah.
So Demetrius, we wanted to ask you like a few questions about just the current state of boxing, but the first thing I wanted to ask you, you're from Rhode Island, correct?
Yeah, I'm from heaven. I was sent to Providence, Rhode Island.
And so I wanted to ask you about just the
from
current,
the Lord above.
The current.
Said, boy, you need to come down to the state of Providence, Rhode Island, because they need you, boy. When you get out there, I want to make sure you do and give, inspire all the people, baby. That's what you're gonna do right there. That little ass state right there in Rhode Island, boy. You're gonna make New England. You're gonna make it happen for you. You're gonna give them hope. Give them hope, kid. You going right here.
Yeah. Oh man, you're great, Demetri. We love you, man. And we want to know about some other fighters. So who's the best prospect coming out of your area right now? I know you. I'm sure you're familiar with some of the fighters in the gyms that you're around. Who's a young fighter that you could kind of just let us know about that you're seeing that's coming up right now locally?
I mean, the next guy that was like, he's not a prospect, he was, but it was Toka Khan. He ended up fighting Shakur Stevenson, maybe like the fight before he fought what's his name?
Herring?
I don't know. I don't want to mess up his name, hack his name up. The guy that Stevenson just beat for the belt.
Oh, Jamel Herring.
Yeah, Jamel Herring, yeah. So before that fight, he fought Providence. The fight before went 12 rounds, 10, 12 rounds, whatever it was. He was like our, guy that was like, that was doing things. There's definitely some talent out here. You know, we got some good talent, but I haven't seen like the like dedication and hard work yet to like make it to be like an overall world champion. Like stylistic is like a problem for people. I haven't really seen that out here quite yet, but the smaller generation, like the junior glove guys, kids, there's definitely a lot of those looking like they have that ability, but nobody last like right now, like 20s and third, like nobody right now at that point. But the younger crew looks like they're going to make a good statement if you know they got the right parents, of course, the right trainers, dedication and the hard work to continue. A lot of people doesn't really understand how boxing parenting works, boxing money works, boxing traveling works. Like to really become something, you must, just like, you got to push. You got like my dad, me and him argue about this shit all the time. Like it's his favorite thing to say. He's like, I spent 300,000 traveling you guys all over the world. I gave up this. I had to flip that. I give you kids everything you need. All you kids. 300,000 travel. Who we going to Kansas City? How much you think that? How much? I'd be like, yo, Dad, chill, bro. I just gave you all that money back like tenfold. What are you talking about? I'm like, all right, but like the point of is just like, like kids and like I never really had like a 9 to 5. I never worked. Family members who own a lot of like Section 8 property housing. Like I'm talking about like 50 units, right? And so summertime, I used to go and be like, hi, let me just go, go and do some, work, drive to these places, help like whatever, do stuff like that. I used to like drive cars off the boats at the docks because like, people, whatever, like certain holidays will come up. This is when I'm young. Like this is young, teenage years, whatever. Doing these things, Valentine's Day come, you want to, I'm saying, something come, you want to make sure you care, whatever you say, you want whatever. So those are the things I used to do. And then my dad was able to provide, cell phones, all this other stuff, what we need, making sure we were able to get to trips and fights and, his dedication towards like, his kids and like pushing us to get where we need to get to. And, and where I'm at today. Now, what I was also saying, like, that's also a tough situation if you don't believe in yourself or, have the right people, because like you can be good and it's like, oh, I got to work this 9 to 5. I can't go to the gym because I got to work this 9 to 5. Oh man, I can't, I got to work. Oh, I can't. Like, so working and boxing is tough. And also like people, when you're young, whatever you want to make money, then people want to go in the streets, and that's like the wrong thing to do. If the wrong thing to do. So, you got to live how you live, of course. You know what I'm saying? I'm never going to tell people not to survive how you survive. But like, you just got to be careful with the direction you're going in. But what I'm saying is like, boxing is really tough. There's no money in the beginning. You got to rely on your parents. Hopefully they're willing to, or somebody's willing to help sponsor the situation and get you to where you need to get to, and, put money in your, and also, a manager will come into a situation and be like, here, I'll give you, and then I want 40. So there's a lot people don't know about that. This game has a lot of, shocks, individual shocks that like just looks at people as numbers than people. So, that being said, is like this boxing game is not for everyone. I hope everyone, that thinks about getting into it really understands what they're getting into. And before they get into it, I usually ask why, what, when, all this other stuff. And then, there's school, kid. There's school. I know school ain't always, school is also a way to get a degree and, get a career, because whatever, and use boxing to make, some lump sums of money if you can. But what I'm saying is, like, parents, whatever your kids want to do, you can't be like, of bringing them over here. Oh, I'm tired. Oh, damn, we gotta go all the way to Delaware. We gotta go all the way to Kansas. We gotta go all the way. Yeah, all the way. Take the shit all the way so you could be Olympian. Take the shit all the way so you could be world champion. Take the shit all the way. You know what I'm saying? Take the shit all the way. If your kid or whatever it is that is whatever, and sometimes the kid needs to be pushed by you, like to make sure the kid like, oh, maybe the kid might say, I'm not going. No, motherfucker, you're going.
Yeah, but I remember that my dad used to take me to the track. I used to run track when I was a kid, and I was I made the regionals. So when I was about 12 years old, and it was my dad who pushed me to make it that far. Because I mean, I was not as dedicated as I should have, and I believe the next following season, all the people that I beat because I wasn't dedicated, they wound up beating me the next year. And so I understand from, sometimes when you have children, and you have children yourself, correct?
Demetrius, a big time family man. You got kids, right?
I don't know what's going on here, fellas.
No, it's all good. We were just asking about your family. I know you're a family man. You got kids, correct?
Yeah, I definitely have kids.
And are they involved in sports or?
Yeah, they do sports. They definitely. My daughters were doing like gymnastics. I'm trying to get them. They're still young, so I'm trying to get them into see what they like, dancing. Track might be the next thing I start walking them in, and then really I look at the sports. This is what like a parent does. I'm saying somebody in my stand. I'm like, what sport's going to pay the most? what sport? Okay. If it comes down to maybe you're not being paid the most, what sport is going to get them free college education?
Yes, sir.
Like, which direction do I have to put them in so they can be like scholarship? I ain't got to pay for shit. You get that? Scholarship. I ain't got to pay for shit.
So you're raising your kids right then.
Use that talent.
I use that talent. And so I got one more question for you, and I appreciate your time, man. All right, TV shows. Have you been watching Curb Your Enthusiasm?
I can go right here real quick. What's up, kids? Go ahead, get in. I got to do one more thing. Go ahead.
All right. Have you been watching Curb Your Enthusiasm?
Nah, nope.
Oh, my God, bro. Get on it. It is hysterical. I got to get you on some TV shows, man.
What are you watching right now?
I do watch. I'm a comedy guy. I do watch comedy stuff, but what I'm saying, I haven't TV shows. I really, my time is like, But yeah, put me on some new stuff.
I'll definitely send you a bunch of stuff, bro.
Yeah, send my boys some text messages of some good shows out there.
We got you 100%, man. And
I want to say this. Demetrius.
Last things I just watched was like Mortal Kombat and Godzilla versus King Kong.
I want to say this,
and
bro,
I watched all the Harry Potters like 3 weeks ago. I watched all of them. I watched like all the Lord of the Rings all over again. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll be like, those are the type of shit. I like the movie called Seven. You ever seen a movie called Seven?
Yeah, I've seen that. That's a classic.
Like every time that movie, I'm watching that movie at least twice a year. You know what I'm saying? Like this, I got my, I like Martin Lawrence. Just so I'm saying, like when he has the green suit, that's the funniest shit ever. Like he's animated. Like that's one of the best stand-up out there with Martin Lawrence. I gotta watch that like once a year. Twice a year maybe.
Word.
Might need an inhaler every time. Well, go ahead. Give me your last question.
All right. No, it's not even a question. I was going to say this. I'll give a recommendation. Transformers, the movie from 1986, animated, was released in theaters recently. I went there by myself. My wife wouldn't go there with me. My stepdaughter, who's 13 years old, wouldn't go there with me. I went there by myself. I watched this bad boy in a movie theater, bro. Like I'm a nerd for like sci-fi and like Star Wars and shit like that. And I had the greatest night of my life. It was just wonderful. But I love my family. But it was a great time. So I highly recommend the 35th anniversary of the Transformers. Kevin, you got anything left?
Yeah, just one more before we let you go. Just a couple. You can just kind of put them together. Who you got besides yourself? Who was the fighter of the year?
Oh, you got snow stuff?
That's a good question.
Get out my bag. I'm sorry.
You know,
It is a tough question because I'm kind of
the one person that is like on that wrecking ball is Terrence Crawford. You know, I mean, I'm not going. Sean Porter's a great fighter.
Mhm.
And he fights hard every time. He shows up every single time. Terrence is definitely getting these guys like at the right time for himself too, because he's like now coming upon his weight and all that other stuff, so it works out for him. He's definitely the Earl Spence and him. That thing definitely needs to happen.
Yeah, definitely.
I like the kid, Ernest. I think I was supposed to fight his brother actually, like way back. But he's definitely going to be a problem,
Oh yeah, he's a beast.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to see what it is once he like gets in like competition, of course. But he's showing, he can hang and bang with the rest of them. You know what I'm saying? He's also a full package guy. Yeah, he's definitely the guy. When I was a lot younger, somebody asked me, "Yo, who you think is the next guy that's going to be somebody?" My answer to them at that time was Jermaine. Is that Ernest kid? He's like that kid right there is going to be. And Jermaine Taylor did a pretty well job. He went pretty far, did some things, and then he got a little crazy in the head. But I mean, that's what taking punches can do to you.
Yeah.
But,
I was gonna say he got hit a lot.
His outside life is, but
yeah, I mean,
Ernest kid definitely.
Well, the name of the game. It's hit and don't get hit yourself. And I think you've done an excellent job of that in your career. I haven't seen you really take really any real punishment. I'm sure you probably take more punishment in the gym with your sparring partners than you do in any of these fights. You just look tremendous. Best fight this year that you've seen?
Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
sir. Yeah, you didn't have to think about that one too much.
I tell you what, Inoue the other day looked really good. Inoue.
Which one?
Inoue. Yesterday. You guys didn't see that?
Mm-mm.
Oh man, like I don't understand how someone so small like packs so much punch. But no, I agree with you, Demetrius, is that if you look at that Tyson Fury Deontay Wilder fight, I don't understand. Again, we're talking about size, and size makes a difference. How Tyson Fury fights as athletic as he does for such being a big, awkward guy. Like, do you have any thoughts on that, Demetrius, before we let you go?
What you say about the Tyson Fury fight?
Is that how does he have such athleticism in Fury as being such a big, like tall, awkward, like it doesn't make any sense. Like, what's your thoughts on that? Because you're a very athletic guy.
It's some skinny legs, man. Them skinny legs.
Is that what it is?
I don't know. He got skinny ass legs though.
That makes him move better.
Top. You're like, you know what I'm saying? I got bigger legs than Tyson Fury.
And you know what, bro? You got a big heart. You're an awesome guy. We appreciate your time today.
Yeah, we really appreciate you just taking some time out of your day. I know you're with your family. We can hear them in the car with you, and we really appreciate this a lot. It's just great to talk to you, and we just want you to get the big fights that you're looking for, and we're just we're hoping to see you in with Charlo, with Canelo, Triple G, any of those fights, Munguia. They're all makeable fights. I think they're fights that don't let anybody fool you. The fans and me and John are fans. We want to see you in with those guys. And
of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
And
that's
politics
just
aside.
The Canelo fans. That's just the Canelo fans
Yeah.
and the fan that they don't want to see their superhero get beat up. You know what I'm saying? So they're like,
Yeah.
no. Deep down inside, they're like, please, Canelo, don't fight him. Don't fight him. Not that way. No. You know what I'm saying? That's how they feel inside. You feel me?
Yeah, we feel you.
We feel you 100%. And Demetrius, I want you to enjoy your holiday season.
It's been a pleasure. And but before you go, I just want to let the people who are watching the podcast see a little bit of you in action. And we're just going to show a short clip of you in action.
Demetrius Andrade. Oh, it's a sharp left hand from Andrade.
Daddy.
And that's why he is the WBO middleweight champion of the world and a top player in all of boxing, not
Yes,
only
sir.
the middleweight division, of all of boxing. Demetrius, I cannot thank you enough. I wish a very happy holiday to you and your
Yes.
family, you and yours. And you're such a great guy. Like, I'm going to say this on a personal note. You're one of the most approachable people in the sport of boxing and most real and down to earth. And much love and
Yes,
respect.
sir.
to you and
You,
yours.
you ever thought of doing comedy in the future? I mean, you are hilarious. I mean, really.
You know. I would definitely need to put a script together. You know what I'm saying? Do my own little stand up. But it's all natural though. It's all natural, of course. I could definitely get the pen and paper and start. You know what I'm saying? Putting on something. But yeah, for sure. I mean, listen. God bless you guys.
Yeah, God bless you too.
Can I have a
Appreciate what you guys
suggestion
do.
for the comedy? It's called
Yeah.
It's Me Again.
It's, that one. That is definitely a good one.
It's not bad. It's a good suggestion. It's me again. But Demetrius,
definitely
happy
good.
holidays, you and your family.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'll send you all the links. iHeart, Spotify, YouTube, everywhere. Podcasts are heard, Google, Amazon, all that kind of good stuff. Demetrius Andrade, thank you so
Happy
much.
holidays.
31.
Appreciate you for coming on the show. Episode 29 of Kayonation Podcast. Really appreciate it.
You want
31
to
and
hear
0,
something
19
funny?
KOs.
Want to hear something funny?
Yes.
I thought you tried to surprise me because I didn't get your name on the other end, but I thought you trying to surprise me. I was like, oh shit, Dave Chappelle.
Oh man. Right on.
I was like, oh shit, that's Dave. Oh shit, what's good?
Maybe he'll put me in his movie.
For many years. Like, oh shit, Dave Chappelle.
I was like, my boy, what is that?
I just fell off
guys,
my
have a good
chair.
night, man. Happy holidays, yo.
Yeah, you too.
All right,
Thank you,
peace.
brother.
All right.
Peace.
Good man. Happy holidays.
Yeah, peace.
Peace. That was awesome. Really fun interview. I mean, so the hilarious guy. He's just great personality. Wish him all the best. I mean, I really want to see him in the big fights.
Yeah, I'm
How do you feel about
my
that?
ass
Yeah.
off.
It's got me all choked up over here.
He called you Dave Chappelle. That was fucking amazing.
Yeah, that was a perfect end to the interview. I mean, that was great.
Oh yeah. You know, we're still live, so we'll cut it. I'm gonna crop some things out for the things of whatever, but that was fucking amazing to end. Like he's like, what was this, Dave Chappelle now?
But anyways, that was great. I think in so what do we have? So we have coming up, hopefully, before the end of the year, we're gonna do end of the year award show, potentially with Dougie Fisher. So hopefully we'll get to episode 30 by the end of this year. And it's been a great year so far, John. Doing these shows with you, and really appreciate you helping to get Andrade on. And we did a great interview a few weeks back with 140-pound champion Kali Reese. So that's it for today. Hope to see you guys soon. And thanks again to Demetrius for just putting on an awesome interview. Until next time, Kayonation Podcast. This is Kevin Chappelle and Johnny Signorella.